Someone left a negative comment on a post of mine, and it made me stop to think, does this person have a point, or are they completely missing the mark? In this episode, I share exactly what that person commented and what I was able to take away as a result. Let's parlay. What's going on, y'all? Thanks for tuning in to another episode. I am a bit hesitant, or I was a bit hesitant, to go into this topic, but I think that hesitation is all the reason why I need to talk about it. There's a lot of new people to the page who may not be all that familiar with the things that I have gotten into in the past, my time on reality TV, etc., etc. So I figured this will be a good episode to just ground some people on things that you may not know about your boy over here, okay? In specific, there was a comment that was left on a post of mine that sparked this whole thought process for me. And the post, just to give you some context, I was talking about the men in Houston claiming the title of Men of God. And I think I've dropped a podcast episode about that previously. But I was pretty much saying that, yeah, there's a lot of people who throw around that title, a lot of men specifically, and they're not living up to God's standard. And I was pretty much calling that out in the post on my Instagram and on my TikTok. And yeah, I then, I wasn't able to really keep track of all the comments, but I saw that there was a comment made that had a lot of responses to it. So I went into the comment section and just started doing some digging. And the first comment that was left by the person, who originally posted this was, "Were you into God when you were on Big Brother?" So for those of you who do not know, in the summer of 2022, I did something crazy and decided to go on a reality TV show called Big Brother. It's a competition-based show where 16 people live in a house together, 24/7, with a bunch of cameras laced all over the place. You're mic'd up 100% of the time. There's a 24/7 live feed. And I was in that godforsaken house for 94 days. And I made it all the way to the end and got second place. So I was a runner-up. And yeah, throughout that time, I would say my relationship with the Lord was definitely in a very different place, where my faith and my heart was in the right place. But as far as my actions and what I committed to doing and not doing, that wasn't as clear as it is now. So this lady is asking, were you into God on Big Brother? And then there was someone else who had commented and pretty much was like, yeah, this is the same guy who had sex with a random woman on national television. And then from there was a whole bunch of back and forth. And there was some of my boys in there who defended me, and some other people who were, not even aware that I was on reality TV in the past. And I bring this up not because I want to relive anything that happened in the past, but I think it made me pause for a second, because my initial reaction, I'll be honest with you, was to be defensive, right? Like I'm never going to respond. I never respond to anybody's negative comments. I just don't find it to be worth the energy. But in my mind, you ever play out something in your mind, like where you think about what you're going to say, when you want to say, like that's exactly what happened in my mind when I first heard and saw the comment and then the exchange afterwards. And there were a bunch of people who were kind of chiming in, some people who were trying to defend me but didn't know that that was the case, that I actually was getting into that sort of stuff on the reality TV show and on Big Brother. And yeah, I think what I took from that was, first and foremost, whoever that lady was who made that comment, she had every right to bring that up. Right? It's not as if that's false. I have to live with whatever it is that I've done in my past that was recorded on national television for the rest of my life. And that's my burden that I'm going to have to carry. So she wasn't wrong in bringing it up. And I think what I've processed is that's something that I should probably welcome a lot more, is my testimony. Because it just shows how far I've come as a person, as a man of God, as someone who Jesus has just completely renewed as a result of my faith and my belief. And yeah, I mean, even looking back at some of like the footage from me being on the show and pictures, I mean, I was in just a completely different state. I had just quit my job only 4 months ago. I was working full time as an engineer in the corporate world, had a lot of security, quit my job, started my online fitness coaching, and then boom, all of a sudden, I'm on a reality TV show for 3.5 months. And I don't got access to my phone. I can't call my parents. I can't call anybody. Can't read a book. Can't write down any notes. Can't take naps. All of this stuff just happened so quickly. And I think about where I was then versus where I'm at now. And it's a part of my testimony. That is what makes God so good, is that he could take someone who was a little bit unsure of the boundaries that he felt he could commit to at that time and living up to God's standard of sexual purity, of all of that. He could take that version of Monty and turn him into where I am today, which is some sort of miracle. Okay. And time and experience can help someone learn that. But the power that I think comes from the testimony is that the Lord really has to change someone's heart and desires for them to make such a drastic change and such a drastic commitment. So, yeah, I've talked about where I am in my faith right now and the boundaries and the standards that I want to uphold to. I've committed to not drinking, not smoking, not engaging in anything sexually impure. I've made that commitment because I'm that committed to my relationship with God. And I really just find that those things tend to get in the way of my personal relationship with God. So, I wanted to share this because a lot of people have things in their past that are holding them back from fully committing themselves to God or whatever they feel God is telling them to do or whatever they read in the Bible or even to just whatever that they have to change in order to accomplish a new goal. I see this a lot with my fitness clients. I've heard so many people say, I am not that type of person. I am this, I am that. A lot of I am identity statements where they proclaim something about themselves that isn't in alignment with where they want to go and what they're looking to achieve. For fitness specifically, some people say, I'm not a morning person. Well, dear client of mine, this is when I usually have this conversation. And I say, well, given the circumstances that you work a 9-to-5 job, you have this going on after your 9 to 5, you have things in the evening taking you there, taking you here. The morning is the only time that you have to yourself. So for you to reach this goal, you are a morning person because there's no other time for you to get this thing done. And you have to kind of strip away a lot of that identity in whatever you felt was you beforehand in order to achieve something new. And it requires you becoming a new person. It requires you identifying with something different. And that's what's happened for me when it comes to the way I view life, is I've just identified with God's standard a lot more than I've ever have. And my testimony and how I got there, I hope and I pray that in me sharing this, whatever it is that you have been keeping as your identity, whatever it is that you have been holding on tight to, and not what people tell you, but what you repeat to yourself, whatever that thing is, it's okay to let go. It's okay to let go. And that does not qualify you, or that does not disqualify you from whatever it is that you believe you can achieve in the future. So if you have struggles with binge eating, that is not you. That is something that you used to struggle with, but that is not a part of your identity. Your identity is in being a person who lives a healthy lifestyle, who is confident in their body. Your identity is in living up to God's standard and doing things according to the word of God, because this is who you identify with now. That's where your heart is. And I just feel like there's a lot of people kind of in bondage to thoughts and to identity claims that are just keeping them where they're at. And this comment made me realize that, yeah, I think I do need to talk more about how much I've changed and and even some things in my past, and not be fearful of talking about it. And a lot of it is just me not wanting to relive some of the aftermath of it, but a lot of it is also just I've personally had no interest in bringing that up. One, to not brag about it, and two, it's like it's not like an accomplishment in my mind the way that a lot of people see it. A lot of people are like, "Oh, you on a reality TV show like that?" I mean, it's very interesting, sure, but it's not. I don't personally feel like it is something that I achieved getting second place on the show. That just doesn't, I don't put that on the list of like high moments in my life, if that makes sense. And maybe that's something I personally have to deal with. Um, but yeah, I just feel that there might be some more opportunity to help people in sharing more about how much I've changed. So I've maybe vaguely spoken about, my past and whatnot. But for those who did not know, yeah, the cat is out of the bag. I was on reality TV. I was, I had a weak moment on the show. And yeah, I'm not bragging about it. I'm not, like waving it around as if it's my flag, but it's what happened, and it's what's made me the man that I am today. Is learning from that experience. So um, that's all I got for today. I'm gonna make this a pretty short episode. I believe I have posted about this on social media, or will in the very near future. So you'll probably be seeing a little, short clip of me talking about this exact experience. But I just wanted to give a little bit more context and share with some folks some things that you maybe didn't know about me. Also, I was on another reality TV show afterwards. It's called The Challenge USA, season 2. It ran on CBS. I did not get as far in that show. And I also had a short stint, a little cameo on a daytime show called The Bold and the Beautiful. So get that cat out of the bag as well too. So those were things that happened all in the summer of 2022, going into the fall. And then I eventually moved to LA, riding high off of that momentum and not wanting to miss out on the opportunity to take advantage of this window. And that is a part of my story. Okay, so hope that this has maybe just allowed you to realize that nothing in your past is going to disqualify you from changing and becoming who you're called to be. That's all I got for you. Stay blessed. Have a good one. And we'll see you next week.